It's okay. No, I did.
I did 12. Yeah, I think that's the line. You taking over? Dude, I might go over too. I think.
And then I got on.
Oh, exactly. Once things move like. Sometimes the other front runner. No. Stanford.
Oh, right. Well, after that.
On the first side, thing that you should do, if you're not being qualified, you're a senior senator, goddammit. I feel like the Constitution probably does say senior senator after.
All right.
I don't think he wants that.
It's my civic duty now.
We decided we're impeaching you today. Just to add to the case. Run around. Was it 1/4? It might be less than that.
Luke, you think you can get 1/4 of people in here to teach anything? I'd ask.
How does it feel about the picture? Gary.
Check it. Nice.
It's an important question to ask you. This could be. I heard, I think it's perfect. That guy, honestly. Okay. Yeah. Now you're. Unfortunate, but feels right. For you.
A few seconds ago. Wow. Luke just uploaded. What? It's not giving me access. Luke, Stanford, did you upload the agenda? Did you give me access to the agenda?
Yeah. You already have access?
I
just
just
requested it. It's probably in your email.
Where's in mine? Oh, I got it.
Got it?
How do I?
Chris, which email?
I got it. Don't worry about it.
Come on, baby. Oh, come on.
Where's the agenda? It's the last meeting. Unless we don't have joint Saturday. If we don't have joint Saturday. Unless we might be the case. Here's what's gonna happen. It's made a plan. And it's multiple lawsuits. So they have for the next 2 weeks. So the court will start to and then they might make a decision. Oh, they won't start until our finals. Oh, God. It's brutal. So. I don't think it's, maybe it might be the fall. Two resolutions. Are you just gonna like committee of the whole thing? Who? No, Stanford will. Yeah. You know, like the basic, I have the basic idea. So like, let's say you run out of time, right? You need most of your spend time, yeah, second. You have to ask for the functions, objection, yes.
All right, we're calling this meeting to order. Get a motion to approve the minutes. See. All right. Poll is going out right now. Poll is just sent out.
I knew we have them 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minutes for the poll. I'm gonna give it to Chris. Chris, yeah. Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah. Just let me know whenever we're good. Okay, cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. We're good.
Ready to close it?
Yeah. All right, poll is closing. So please get that in if you haven't yet. Great, perfect. All right, poll is closed. We're gonna, in the poll passes, we're gonna be moving on to officer reports right now. First up is Turner, my president.
All right. Hello, everybody. This is probably the last one for me, so we make it a good one. So I've been talking about this move out donation program for the people that have been here for the last few weeks. We pretty much have it done. So if you guys live in residence halls on campus this year, if you're freshmen or sophomores, I guess anybody can live in there. We will be having donation pickup zones. So there will be people for you to drop off your items on Daisy Hill, at the Corbin GSP location, Downs, and Stouffer Place. So if you guys are in the dorms and you have items that you're not going to take home and you're going to throw away, we may be able to collect those items. So these will be microwaves, mini fridges, rugs, couches, those storage drawer things that you got at Walmart. Like, we're going to take all of that and we're going to clean it and store it over the summer. And then we're going to sell it in August. So also, if you guys want to buy some of these items, if you are moving into an apartment next year, or if you guys just want some cheap items, we will be selling these items. So look out for stuff from us. Additionally, we are looking for volunteers for this event to actually work the pickup zones or help clean items or help store the items. If you are interested at all, reach out to us. We're working with the CCO to put out a volunteer portal link sort of thing. That'll be up soon. We'll send that out to you guys. Lots of ways to get involved. It's going to be really cool. It's going to be a really big Senate initiative. So just look out for it and tell your friends if you can. Besides that, working to get an environmental committee set up on University Senate next year. There's a lot that can be done with this environmental committee to connect students, faculty, and staff together to work on these environmental initiatives and to plug them with resources for them. I just wasn't able to get it done this year, but I'm leaving enough materials for the next administration to work on it successfully. And if they want to pursue it, they can. So look out for that next year. Besides that, we got a big Senate today. Just please be as respectful as you can be. We're all college students here. Let's make sure we remember that. So thank you all for a great year. I'm happy to almost be done. But glad you're all here for one last meeting probably. So thank you so much.
All right, Brendan, how much time do you need? All right, 2 minutes.
Okay, while Brendan is walking up here, I just posted the end of the year superlatives form into the general. So this is like best dressed, etc. It's a tradition we started last year. Please fill it out in the next 30 minutes or so, and then we'll give out awards at the end of the meeting. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Brendan, the graduate student body president. A couple of things I've been working on recently. I've been meeting with all the individual members of GSA, which is the Graduate Student Advisory Board. They're essentially kind of a different Senate in a way that elect me, and it's like kind of like a chairman and the board. But I am individually meeting with all of them to identify some of the unique individual challenges that each school in the university faces, with representation from their deans, and compiling a list of all those individual problems and presenting it to the provost at the end of the year. And then also working with Rick Steele, who is the vice provost of graduate studies, to formulate a graduate engagement event for the fall to better engage graduate students and get them involved on campus. That's all.
All right, sounds good. And with that, we're moving on to the next agenda item, which is a vote to appoint a constitutional court. Just to put some guidelines on this conversation, we want to make sure everyone stays respectful And we want to make sure that it's clear that we are not discussing or debating the appeal or the election commission decision. We're simply deciding on a procedural vote on whether or not we appoint a constitutional court. And with that, I think Turner, you wanted to take this away? For 5 minutes, that sound good?
Probably need 10 minutes.
All right, I'll
10.
give you just 10 minutes to start.
Okay, so as Luke pointed out, we are going to vote. We're going to vote for people to serve on a constitutional court. So given the violations in the election commission and the appeal on the violation, that appeal goes to a constitutional court within Student Senate. This constitutional court usually isn't used. So we actually don't have members on the court currently. So that's what we're here to do today. We're here to appoint a few individuals. So it's in my powers as student body president to appoint these individuals, and then you guys will vote on whether you think they should serve on the commission or the court, excuse me. So this proceeding, I'm going to introduce these candidates. You guys can come up now. There's 3 justices on the court. We have Keegan, how do you say your last name? Ghost. Keegan Ghost, Malia Murgia, and Katrin Renner. Sorry, I just want to make sure that the name's right. So these are who I chose for my criteria when choosing these individuals. My biggest factor was that they didn't know any of the parties involved. So they do not know either of the candidates that were in this election, and that is crucial. We all, as much as we think we don't know each other, we really do know each other in this room. And people have opinions of each other. People have ambitions for next year, or things like that that can sway their ability to be impartial. These individuals are not in Senate currently. They don't plan to be in Senate next year. They are here to serve their university and to help make a fair and impartial decision on this election. That's my background. I'll let them all briefly introduce themselves, and then we can go into a short round of questioning and then proceed. So you want to start? Just say your name, what you study, and just,
all right.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Katrin Renyer. Kat is easier. I am an aerospace engineering and business student. I just completed my business minor last semester, and I am kind of dragging myself across the finish line with the aerospace engineering degree. Last time I was at this podium, I was asking for funding for a couple engineering design groups, so I understand the importance of Student Senate, and I appreciate it personally. Anything else?
good.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm Amalia Murgia. I'm currently a first-year law student. I'm also involved with the School of Public Administration. I've never met either of these parties before, but I'm confident I can provide an accurate standard of review for this appellate decision. Thanks.
My name is Keegan Ghost. I'm also a law student. I'm also the vice president of the student board at KU Law School, that is. I was pretty impressed that your guys' constitution actually uses a lot of legal terminology in the Kansas rules of evidence. So I wasn't going to even allow myself to be in this position if it wasn't kind of semi-serious, but your constitution's pretty put together. So I'm willing to do this if you all are.
All right, so I think we're going to open it up to questions if you have them. Again, we need to keep this respectful. I don't think it's going to get out of hand. I just want to preface this. Respect to these individuals for giving us their time is the most important thing we can do right now. So we're going to open up to questions. You can direct it at any of us up here, including myself.
We got a question in the front, Chris.
Can we get the box? Do we have?
I don't think we got them out.
Okay, so traditionally, the student senate is able to swear in the new student body president before the end of the year. Obviously, this appeal looks like it's going to be a long process, especially to collect statements from both sides, hold a hearing if necessary, and then for you all to write your decisions. What are you all hoping that the timeline will be for this?
I can speak on this. So first off, although it is the goal to get the new student body president and their administration sworn in, there is precedent for things to get pushed further along. In 2014, it was even the fact that the new administration didn't get sworn in until the fall. So obviously we don't want that to happen, but there is precedent for these decisions to lag. The timeline here, so given that we have two esteemed law students, they actually have their finals the next 2 weeks. So next week, they're fully off the books, focusing on their finals. The next week after that, so that's 2 weeks from now, they will be able to start doing some procedural things like meeting with the advisor and planning meetings. And then the following week, it's the plan to have the actual hearing and get started. So hopefully by the end of finals, it should be done. That's our plan.
Do we have any other questions? Question back in the back?
Yeah, so for you two law students, first of all, thank you so much for volunteering for this. How did you guys hear about Senate?
Senate in general,
Or I guess more Senate in general or this?
yeah. So Angela is somebody we know, and she was looking on behalf of Tanner for law student Turner. I'm sorry. How little I know what's going on here, but was looking for law students to be willing to volunteer their time for this. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions? Do you have any other questions?
Chris?
This one's for Tanner. So I'm hoping, we've already discussed this. I'm hoping you can elaborate on what happens after the Constitutional Court, or if there are no judges for the Constitutional Court.
So, Jen, would you be able to, sorry to put you on the spot, would you be able to elaborate on what happens if this court does not get filled? I can elaborate on what happens if the court does get filled. I'll start and then you can add on. So if this court is filled, they'll follow the timeline that I just said, and they'll make a decision, and then either party that's a part of the decision can appeal if they lose. And then that can go to the J board. It's my understanding. The University Judicial Board. So that's a university run it's a university run court. So they hear things such as if a student is appealing being expelled, like it's a very serious court on a university. If this court doesn't get filled, I'd love if Jen is our trusted advisor of the Constitutional Court.
Is it okay?
Yeah, please do.
So this might be a little bit more than what you were looking for, but I will advise the Constitutional Court. And I have already been in communication with the University Judicial Board to clarify process. There is a conflict in the rules, as the University Senate Rules and Regulations have appeals of the Elections Commission going directly to the University J Board. And then our Student Senate Constitution says it goes to the Constitutional Court. So should the appellate choose to advance that, or should the Constitutional Court choose to advance the question, appellate jurisdiction is the first question that needs to be answered. So if there are no justices, then the appellant would most likely consult directly with the University Judicial Board about their options, should they wish.
And if there is a court, then it's likely the Constitutional Court.
The first question that needs to happen is who has jurisdiction over the appeal.
So okay, yeah.
Yeah, either the University Judicial Board or the Constitutional Court.
Yeah. Yeah. Other questions, if any?
I got it. Describe, wow.
what happens with joint senate if we're not decided in time by the
Yeah.
school year ends?
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part here. So, joint senate is historically around this time, and historically it is the transition between administration to administration. But if we don't have a new administration, then there's not a point for a joint senate to do that purpose. I could see us having another meeting to, and this is coming from Austin, who's a council chair, to elect new council chairs and elect the speaker of the Senate. But I don't think that transition from this year's president, so me, to next year's will happen at that meeting. So we're gonna meet tomorrow with probably StudX to talk over what we want to do, depending on this vote, but that's likely what will happen. That makes sense.
We have.
I have a question for Turner mostly. Do you think that there is a reason? Okay, so let me just put it this way. I think it's a safe assumption that regardless of what the Constitutional Court decides, the J Board is going to end up hearing about this one way or another.
I don't think that's a fair assumption. I think it depends on what the coalitions or the candidates involved are going to decide to do. And I don't think they have their mind made up that they're going to go.
Okay, so that answers my question. It's your view that it's not necessarily worth just skipping the Constitutional Court altogether and going to the J Board.
I think this will and should be settled within the Constitutional Court.
Thank you.
Do we have any other questions? All right, we have a motion to vote. Do we have a second? Could go up here. All right, so I'm just gonna pull up.
Somebody.
Sorry, my first time chairing.
Are we doing this individually by each person, or are we doing it as a?
Can we just
package?
package deal this? What do you think? Maybe we can do
It's up to
individual. Let's package deal.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good. All right, what's the next step here?
Pulls up. They vote.
Pulls up.
Pulls up.
All right. That should be it. Let's see.
Should we explain that in? We should say.
That's what I'm saying.
Did you say that?
Yeah, just to be clear on this, we need 4/5 vote for this to pass.
We might have to also roll call, make sure that he borrows it, just because it's so close.
Because I think she thinks. I think it's you have to ask.
I think everyone voted.
But I can see them.
We're good.
I'll wait.
Okay.
Yeah, can you, let's stop verify.
We're going to be closing the poll in the next 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah. So maybe, if you guys are appointed, it's actually. If you guys get appointed, it's actually. So.
All right, we're closing the poll now.
I read that too.
We're gonna go through the roll call list and make sure that everyone who voted is actually a voting member. So that's gonna take a minute, so.
Recess, so we do that?
I
motion to recess for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Motion to recess, got a second?
All right.
Please fill out the superlatives form. Thank you.
How are you doing?
Yeah.
It makes sense.
This fails, he does not have.
We don't have court, it goes to jail.
Great.
What's gonna happen?
I'm far away. Yeah. Yes, I am. Yeah. You know the reading? Okay, I'm watching you, but I like how you said, oh, reach out one, and then you post two business instead. Right there. Every single time. They hire some people like, you know, don't be like Sandy. But it's okay. It's consistent. And I get off at like 3, so. I was gonna go back to a place that I'm starting to, but I'm shoot, did you do this? I don't know who put any of it. I answered like 3 of them, the only ones that I know. Okay, that's actually a good response though.
Yeah, bro.
I didn't know that it went for that. I'll put you too. I'll put you for most initials too.
I guess it's I guess
All right, motion or calling this meeting back to order. So the vote was it 23 in the affirmative, 7 in the negative, and 2 in abstention. So the motion fails. So we are not appointing a constitutional court. And that brings us to the end of this agenda item. So moving on with the rest of the agenda, I'm going to relinquish this chair and give it to the Honorable Finance Chair, Camden Baxter.
Okay, thank you so much to the coordinator of students. Really appreciate the opportunity to run this show one last time before I go on my way. Fun fact, I have never actually done this before, so you're gonna learn along with me. My parliamentary style, for those of you who have been in finance meetings, is pretty straightforward. I'm not gonna do anything out of the ordinary that you wouldn't see in any other regular meeting. So the next item on our agenda is the Senate superlatives. I don't think these are quite done yet. I know that the survey has been out, so please fill that out expeditiously. Turner, do we have any word on whether the superlatives are done today?
Motion to the end.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask for a motion to amend the agenda to move the senior superlatives to the last item before the announcements. I see a motion from Chris R and a second from Kunal. Is there anyone who objects to amending the agenda to move the senior superlatives down at the bottom? Going once, going twice. It is done, which means our next article to consider is the consent agenda. For those of you who are new here, the consent agenda are funding bills that end up below a certain funding threshold, at which we can approve all of them in one fell swoop without individual consideration. That is not to say that they are less important, but being smaller in terms of financial burden on us means that they get a bit of an expedited review. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda? I see a motion from Nathan Benstock and a second from Chris. Is there anyone who objects to approving the consent agenda? Going once, going twice? Oh, okay, so never mind. We're gonna have a vote on the consent agenda. That's my mistake. Please vote quickly. Yeah. On autopilot, thinking this was finance.
Is this for real the last time you're going to share it?
Well, yeah, dude, I graduate. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir Molly.
But that was the opposite. That was supposed to.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, we're gonna let that poll run for about 30 more seconds. Please vote quickly. Take it down. Okay, that poll has concluded with 23 votes in favor, 3 in opposition, and 3 in abstention. The motion to approve the consent agenda passes overwhelmingly. It is done, and we will now move into the regular agenda. Chris Stillman, could I get you to scroll down on the, thank you. Sorry, I need like a dual monitor setup up here. That'd be cool. There's room for that in the office budget, right, Turner?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So the first item on the regular agenda is SB 2024-102, a bill to fund the Nepalese Student Union. Do we have a presenter here from the Nepalese Student Union? Okay, wonderful. If you would like to come up to the podium, we'll get you going. Did you send your presentation to?
Who'd you send it to?
I think I got it. I don't know if I was the only one that got it. Hang on. Okay, what email account do I need to forward this to, Chris?
Just Chris Stillman at KU. You do an email?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Love technology. Let's see if it's good. Yeah, that works too. Do you have a HDMI? Okay. Okay. Anyone have an HDMI adapter? I might get this to work. There we go.
What account is logged in? I can send it to that one too.
It was already logged in when I started it. I'm getting there. We're getting there.
Thank you for your patience, folks. My apologies.
There you go.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, let's bring it back in. Thank you all so much. What's your name, sir?
Hello, everyone. I'm Deepak Timal Sinha, President of Nepalese Student Association. I'm the graduate student in chemistry. So today's presentation is about our upcoming event, Nepal Night. This is the biggest event we celebrate as a Nepalese. And the Nepalese Student Association is the group of Nepalese studying in the University of Kansas. So we include the students as well as the families of the students staying here in the Lawrence. So our main motto is to connect or cooperate and establish a better relationship among the Nepalese and non-Nepalese students here in the Kansas. And we also have the students moving from Nepal to here for the smooth and safe transition to the KU. And we majorly promote the Nepal and Nepalese culture. We bring the culture of Nepal here and we do a cross-cultural program. So far this year, we have completed 4 major events, including Tees, Dasai, Tihar, and Holi. Out of this, the 3 major events was sponsored by the Senate, and one of the event was sponsored by Pepsi. So Nepal Night, this is going to be held on 27th April 2024 in the Jerome, Kansas. The event room, the event space has been already booked. So the program will, the major attraction of the program will be presentation of about the Nepal. As you know, Nepal is famous for the religious, cultural, and multicultural purpose. The highest mountain in the world, Mount Everest, lies in the Nepal. And there are many more things about the Nepal to be presented and to be shared with the other, with the non-Nepalese people here. So we do have a Nepalese songs and cultural dances which represent the culture, and We do have a quiz about Nepal. The 200 attendees will be there, and obviously the delicious Nepalese food. So here are the photos from the last Nepal night celebration from the last year, 2023. People are here in the cultural dress. As you can see, the cultural dress is called Daura Sural, and which typically represents the Nepal and Nepalese culture. Here is the people enjoying the food and the Nepal night from the last year. And about funding, we seriously want the Student Senate to fund for some parts of our catering. The rest of the catering will be sponsored by the Pepsi, and some of the items listed over here. These items, most of the items are multi-event items. Some of the items are multi-event items, and most of the items are for the Nepal night event. So far up to this time, we have applied funding to the Pepsi, as well as we have prepared the flyers. Event will be open to all of the KU students, although it is Nepalese Student Organization Program. It is always open to every student in the University of Kansas. So we expect around 200 people. This is from our last experience that we do have about 150 to 200 people expected. So that's all. Thank you. Any questions? I'll be happy to answer.
Are there any questions for our presenter? Going once, going twice? Okay, we have a motion to vote from Austin Christ, a second from Chris Rathel. Is there anyone who objects to moving into a vote? Going once, going twice? Will be posted. Thank you so much. You may be seated. We appreciate your presentation. Poll is out. Please vote expeditiously. Yeah. Yes. You vote yes. Okay. Put Ola down as you go. Chris. Put Ola down. Ola. Okay, please vote quickly. We will be taking that poll down very shortly. I'm gonna take it down. Okay, that poll has been deleted with 25 votes in favor, one of which was vocal, none in opposition, and 1 in abstention. This overwhelmingly passes. Congratulations to the Nepalese Student Association. Our next bill is SB 2024-104, a bill to fund Sigma Lambda Gamma, which is a sorority on campus. Is there a representative from Sigma Lambda Gamma up here to present? Please head to the podium and Chris Stillman will get you squared away.
Is there a way to make it like full screen?
And what's your name?
My name's Jasmine. I'm a sophomore studying human biology, and I'm the vice president of recruitment. Thank you.
Jasmine, is 5 minutes enough? We can always extend time if you go over.
Yeah, that's
Okay, wonderful. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Okay, so a little bit about us. We're a multicultural and LGBTQ+ inclusive sorority, and we're dedicated to promoting leadership, academic excellence, and cultural awareness among our members. I don't know why it's moving, and the broader campus community. So we have 5 principles, and it's academics, cultural awareness, morals and ethics, community service, and social interaction. So a little bit about who we are. We are Salties. We were Salties. We were an interest group in November 7th of 2022. But last semester, I don't know why it's moving on its own.
Good.
Thank you. Okay, so November 4th of 2023, which was last semester, our first line crossed, which was 13 members, and we would be considered the Phoenix founding line, which means that SLG was previously at KU, but in 2014, the last member graduated, and then we brought it back. So some of our spring semester goals, since we were fairly new, was just to build awareness of our new inclusive community. And then we also tried to strengthen our ties with other multicultural organizations on campus. So we were having a lot of collabs with them and just getting our name out there. So what is the convention? So Sigma Lambda Gamma has a convention every year that's required for all. And it starts as a crucial opportunity for our members to come together with chapters from across the region to exchange ideas, participate in leadership development workshops, and foster a sense of camaraderie and sisterhood. This convention plays a pivotal role in enhancing the collegiate experience of our members and equipping them with the skills and knowledge needed to excel both during their time at the university and beyond. So our registration deadline is May 15th. And here's a little overview of our funds. So the dates are July 11th through the 14th in New Orleans. And this is just for the admission costs. And that's what we're asking the Student Senate to cover, just the admission cost. And for 8 of our members to go, the total is $2,702.48. And by supporting our participation in this convention, the university will not only invest in the development and success of our members, but also demonstrate its commitment to fostering a diverse and inclusive campus community. So additional things that we have done for fundraising is we had a Red Bull fundraiser, Chipotle fundraiser, and a popsicle fundraiser. Next week, we're gonna have a cookie sale. And this isn't the updated ones, but for the Chipotle, we made like $40. And the popsicle one, we only made $3. And that was because we chose a really bad day. It was cold, and the day before it was hot. So the odds were not in our favor for that. And then for out-of-pocket costs, it's $5,408. So that's already what our members are going to be paying. And that does not include admission. So the sole purpose of these events are not only to fundraise for a convention, but it's also for our philanthropies, which includes breast awareness and an education program that we have. Thank you. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Thank you for the presentation. Are there any questions for our speaker? Going once, going twice. Okay, seeing as debate has ground to a screeching halt, we have a motion on the floor to vote on the matter as it has been presented, made by Austin Christ and then seconded by Austin Stifler, Austin squared, if you will. Is there any objection to moving into a vote on the matter as it has been presented by Jasmine? Going once, going twice, we will get that poll posted. Jasmine, you may be seated. Thank you. That poll is active.
Poll's hot.
The poll's hot, folks. Be careful. Oh yeah, it's the good stuff. Okay, once we hit 25 responses, I'm going to close it. Oh, we're at 27 now. I've never seen that movie, Farzad. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Okay, I have. Let's bring it back in just a little bit. I need a motion on the floor to ignore Farzad. I'm kidding.
That's on the record.
That poll has been closed with 25 in favor, 2 in opposition, and 1 in abstention. The funding for Sigma Lambda Gamma passes overwhelmingly. Congratulations. Chris, could you put the agenda up as well? Sorry about that. Now, if my memory serves, we should have 2 pieces of legislation left, each of which are resolutions that address what has been an extraordinarily divisive and personal issue for a lot of members of the KU community. So as Luke did earlier, the coordinator of students, I'm going to urge the utmost respect and consideration for those who may not share the same background as you, who feel differently, who fundamentally see things differently than you. This is a place where students can come together and should feel comfortable respectfully expressing how they feel. And I again remind you of our commitment to ensuring that that happens, which means that the next item to discuss is SR 2024-096, a resolution condemning anti-Semitism and calls for institutional representation of Jewish students. Is there a presenter for this resolution?
I can do it.
Thank you, Jaden. Appreciate you.
Well, good evening, everybody. Let me see if this works. Perfect. So this is the same exact resolution that we looked at last assembly. Nothing has changed. That is all I got for you. Any questions?
Wow.
Okay. Just a second, Kevin. Jaden, for those of us that maybe weren't here last week, could you give a brief synopsis
Oh, yeah,
of all
yeah,
that
yeah.
this entails? Thank you.
Cool. So, as the title suggests, this is a resolution condemning anti-Semitism and a call for institutional representation of Jewish students. So, KU SSI Student Support Israel reached out to me to help them through this process of passing this resolution. And so this is the resolution that they drafted. So basically, this resolution would adopt the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism, which is this right here. And then also, I don't think this is the right draft, but this will also be sent to the Chancellor and Vice Provost desk as well. Any questions? Chris,
Go ahead. Or Kevin, sorry. Kevin was first. Are you sure? Okay, Chris, go ahead.
You just go up to the first page.
Yeah.
Friendly amendment, I think you have Arizona State University written there at the bottom. Can we change that to KU?
Where?
There. Jewish students constitute an important part of the broader ASU community.
Oh, you right. Yeah, we can change that.
They can.
Listen, we're a party school, but we're not ASU.
I don't know if I have.
Okay, we will
Editing
make that
features,
change.
but
Thank
yes,
you
we
for
can make
noticing
that
that, Chris. Kevin, go ahead.
But, is there a way we could vote on this and the next bill at the same time?
Yes, there is a procedure to do that. In which case we would need to table this one, hear the second bill, and then have a motion to vote on those two matters considered concurrently. Okay, so there's a motion to table from Kevin Barnes and a second from, who was that? It was Ivana? Okay, so a motion to table from Kevin Barnes, a second from Ivana Dominic. Is there any objection to tabling this legislation temporarily so that we may hear its sister resolution and consider them both concurrently? Going once, going twice, seeing no objections, this bill will be tabled, which means we get to move on to the next item on the agenda, which is SR 2024, is it 097?
101.
101. Okay, Jaden, are you presenting that one as well?
I'm going to invite the Director of Social Justice up here to present this one.
Okay. Monisha, welcome. Yeah.
Okay, so
Monisha, do you want to pull the?
I think it's
Oh,
already
it already
pulled up.
is. Okay, I wasn't paying attention. Please
Thank
go
you.
ahead. Thank you, Jaden.
Okay, so this one I worked with Students for Justice in Palestine to write this up, the president, and we basically just like changed where it said Jewish in the old one and like added Palestinian, Arab, and Muslim students. And I think the biggest change that we really made, how do I scroll down? Oh, you see it? I think it was right here in the definition part because we couldn't really find a definition for anti-Palestinian. So we just kind of reworded it to say like a certain perception of Palestinian, Muslim, and Arab students, which may be expressed as hatred toward them, rhetorical and physical manifestations of this hate are directed toward Palestinian Muslim. So it's like, it's basically the same thing as what the definition for anti-Semitism is, just like changed a little. So I think that was like all of the changes that we made.
Thank you, Monisha. Are there any questions for the speaker? Chris, go ahead.
That is not a question, it's a motion.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a question for the sake of clarity. So, could you recap the chain of events that led to this piece of legislation being considered alongside the anti-Semitism bill, Monisha?
Well, last cycle, we had a bill for the anti-Semitism, and then after that, everybody wanted to table it so we weren't like picking sides on because of the tension that going on like globally. So that's why we worked with SJP to write this up.
Thank you, Monisha. Are there any other questions for our speaker? Going what, Chris?
I move to consolidate this resolution with the previous one and vote on both of them.
Okay, so Chris has made a motion to call the previous questions, plural, considered in one motion, which means SR 96 and SR 101, correct? Will be considered on the same ballot. It's 97. I realized I just got it wrong. Is there a second to the motion?
96 and 101.
It's 96. Okay. Okay. Farzad has seconded the motion. Is there an objection to considering this bill and its preceding bill concurrently? Going once, going twice. Okay, we will get that poll posted. Thank you for your patience as we navigate the parliamentary chicanery. Please vote quickly. Okay, the vote will be coming down very, very quickly, so please vote now if you want your voice heard.
Very quick.
Quickest that's ever been done before.
So that'll be 20.
Hey, Turner's Kevin here.
Okay, let us bring it back in once more. In a scintillating display of parliamentary procedure, we have managed to consolidate and vote on two bills at the same time. I want it on the record that this is student senate history. Never have I ever seen this done before. We have 27 votes in favor, one of which was cast verbally. Shut up, Evan. We have 0 in opposition, and we have 3 in abstention, which means that this passes unanimously. Congratulations to the Student Senate on its work.
I have a motion to amend the agenda
Okay, we have a motion to amend the agenda.
to give Chris Stillman and Chris Randall concurrently an officer.
Okay, so we're gonna do Chris squared officer report. Is there any objection to doing this? Okay, so we have a second. Yeah, you're right. We have a second from Kevin Barnes. Is there any objection? Okay, going once, going twice. How does 3 minutes sound for Chris and Chris?
Chris.
Really good.
That's wonderful. It is done. That requires a second motion.
I'm gonna go ahead and start by saying this job would not be possible without my counterpart, Chris.
Yeah.
We would have been able to get much little more done this year if it were not for Chris Stillman.
Where my merch? It's in the bookstore. $20.
$3 for sweatshirt. Oh.
I worked way too hard for these not to sell out. We'll auction off one autographed item by both Chris's.
No, that's
Bidding starts at $500.
Any final word?
Thank you very much for the opportunity to serve as Fund Development Director this year. It's been a huge honor to work on fee review, the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Fund, and the 2024 Student Code Revision.
Thank you so much to Chris and Chris. From my perspective, it has been a privilege to work with each of them. This organization does not function without their services. So we have reached the end of the regular agenda, which means that we now have to consider the superlatives, which I don't think, can we take like a 2-minute recess to hash this out? Is that okay? 5, okay. Let's take a very brief 5-minute recess. This is important. It has to go well. Is there a motion to take a 5-minute recess? Okay, I see a motion from Kevin Barnes. Is there a second? Okay, I see here a second from Austin Christ. Is there any objection to very briefly formalizing the superlatives? Going once, going twice. We will see you in 5 minutes. Thank you so much.
Hey, good night. You have the floor. But I don't know when that'll happen, so we'll just leave it up to you. You better choice anyway. TV.
Yeah, and then hurry up.
The gavel. Okay. Thank you guys so much for your patience. I know that took a little longer than we would have liked, but I promise we got to be thorough with this. Okay, so we have quite a few categories. If your name is called, would you please stand up and receive a round of applause?
We have 15 categories. We had a lot of competition. Everyone who got an award really deserved it. So really excited. Hope you had a really fun year at Senate. This is a great way to cap it off. So let's begin with no further than the Best Dressed Award goes to. Oh! It only makes sense.
Okay.
We didn't have anything to give out. It's $20.
Yeah, no, we'll do pictures at the end. So please stick around if you want an award. Okay, next up on the list, we have the most ambitious freshman senator. It's Kate. It's Kate here. Kate Sally? Okay, Kate Sally is not here. All right.
Next up, we have the Graduate Senator Award. Brendan!
Let's be real. Let's be real. Okay. Some of us like to spend more money than others, right?
Yeah.
Which is why we have the biggest spender award to announce today. This outstanding distinction goes to one of our own. Drum roll, please. It's Manna!
Wow. So sometimes you get a little bit down and you need to talk to somebody, and there's somebody in this chamber we can all agree is probably
This kind of sucks sometimes.
okay. Not that. Don't say that. Who is the most approachable? That's none other than Mr. Austin Craig.
Honesty is a virtue. What can we say? What do we want more in someone stewarding public funds than someone who is willing to tell you the truth, even if it really, really isn't fun to hear? We have an outstanding award to give out right now, and that is to the most honest and transparent person in this room. Drum roll, please. It's Christopher right there! Thank you.
You know, Senate wouldn't function if we didn't have our Patrick Mahomes, our LeBron James, our best team player. That goes to none other than our Director of Social Justice, Monisha. Speeches at the end. Thank you.
Now, Listen, this thing would not function. We did not have people who were willing to stand up there and give their 2 cents. Take the risk of standing in front of a crowd of people they barely know and say something that might, just not go over super well. That takes guts, and that is commendable, which is why we have a most outspoken Senator Award to give out tonight. Can we get a drum roll, please? It's Chris R. again!
Now, this award is a little biased, partially because he sits right next to the microphone and also he's the only one with the gavel. But the person who's most likely to bang the gavel a lot and very loudly goes to somebody who's not here is Zachariah. Oh, I could have saw that coming. Wow.
Real shocker, Evan.
I know. Can't make this up.
Wonderful. Listen, there's a lot of information that we have to get out of these presentations, and sometimes you just have questions that aren't covered by the speaker, which means is why we go into questioning periods, and sometimes even one question alone isn't enough, which is why on occasion, sometimes often, we ask follow-up questions. Wow. We're going to give an award tonight to the individual who's most likely to ask a follow-up question. Folks, I don't know if we're doing betting lines for this one, but I think I know who the answer is going to be. Give me a drum roll, please. Hey, Farzad!
Great segue. Sorry for the loudness. Sometimes when we're getting a little down and we're having a tough meeting, we need to have some funny jokes. And none other than Senate one-liners make this place so much fun. This award goes to the person who has the most one-liners. Drum roll, please. It's Camden Baxter.
I definitely didn't rig that one.
Yeah, I never put that one up there.
Well, we have a governing document. I've read it like once. It's pretty long.
This person's read it a lot.
But this person that we're about to nominate has read this document a lot. Okay, and that is a big document. A lot of respect to whoever knows the rules like the back of their hand. So pretty strong group consensus on this one. And again, I don't think it will surprise you to find out that the Constitutional Enthusiast Award goes to it's Chris R. again with that. This man is unstoppable. It's his 3rd award of the night.
Now, so when I first got to Senate, it kind of sucked. There was like 5 people here. It was COVID. It's gotten a lot better, which has given me hope. And that's hope for the future, that Senate is going to be a better place. There's one person, I think, in this room who would win this award, who I think exhibits this quality greatly. And that goes to, drum roll, please, Jaden Walker.
The most optimistic among us. We truly appreciate you, Jaden. We have one more award to give out tonight. A feature of our meetings, particularly early in the year, were guest speakers who brought us valuable insight about the world, about the university, and sometimes even about ourselves.
Are you a valley or are you a mountain?
Are you a winner or are you a loser? Well, if you're Dr. Barbara Ballard, you're a winner. She will be thrilled to hear that she was selected as the favorite guest of the year. Friends, what a time it has been. We have reached the end of our agenda. We just have announcements left. Does anyone have any announcements to make? Okay, seeing no announcements, I, for the last time in Student Senate, am going to seek a motion to adjourn this meeting. I see a motion from Monisha, a second from Sean. Is there any objection to adjourning? Going once, going twice. It has been a hell of a ride, folks.